back. As I mentioned, we have Becky LaMacca here, who is here on behalf of Pacific Cremations. Well, hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Yeah, it's already zipping by. We're almost in February.
I can't believe it.
I know. Well, it's been exciting few weekends here. I don't know if you're a football watcher, but certainly been lots of football.
Oh my goodness. I don't think you could have had more exciting games than what we saw this weekend. Wow.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been great. Now, we showed your commercial before we started talking, and beautiful day that day, happened to be nice, and you offer lots of different kinds of boats if somebody wanted to do a cremation at sea.
We do.
But before we get into all the different choices, tell me what a cremation at sea really means.
Sure. Well, the cremation actually takes place at our crematory. Pacific Cremation Services is a sister company of O'Connor Mortuary. Mm-hmm. And the O'Connor family started this firm about 6 years ago because they realized some families want a very simple cremation. They don't need all of the bells and whistles of O'Connor, and thus Pacific Cremation was born. Mm-hmm. So the cremation takes place, and then the families have the option of a number of different boats. They can choose as big or as small as they want it to be. And actually, sometimes families don't even want to be present. That's what we call an unwitnessed scatter at sea. So we will bring the cremated remains onto the boat and do the scattering on behalf of the family. They don't have to be present. And then we actually send them the latitude and longitude and the time that the scattering happens. So they have that as a keepsake to mark that moment.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's kind of nice. And then if they ever wanted to go visit that spot, they could do that, right?
Yes, they can go to that spot.
Okay. Oh, that's a great idea. Now, you said that there's different kinds of boats, and you can either have it where you witness it or not. So when you're not witnessing it, is it just a captain going out taking whatever boat, or how does that work?
It is. The family gets to choose. We partner with Dana Wharf charters, and so they have all of the boats available to us. And again, depending on what the family is wanting, if they want a bigger crowd there and maybe have a luncheon or hors d'oeuvres on the boat, they can do that. A lot of times people want, typically it's a few people who go out. They choose whether they want a scattering, maybe they want a biodegradable urn that will float on the water and dissolve. The captain of the boat will say a few words on behalf of that individual. There can be music, there cannot be music. Just like with any service, it's very individualized to make it meaningful for that family. But living where we live, a lot of people have ties to the ocean and to the water, so it's very meaningful for that to be the final resting place.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I keep thinking about my father because he's a fisherman. So I'm imagining that if somebody wanted to do that, that's something that they could, like you said, have attachments to the ocean. So now, in terms of actually getting this going, and what are some of the planning that needs to take place? I mean, I know you said there's a variety of different things that go into place. How quickly does it come together, and how soon do they need to call you?
It comes together very quickly. The one thing we need for cremation is permits from the county, and so that usually takes a few days. But once we have all of the permits in place, Lisa and Valeria, who are our funeral arrangers, cremation specialists there, sit down with the family and plan everything out. They take care of all of the permits, they schedule the boat, they do everything, so the family simply needs to decide what it is that they want as far as that ceremony, that memorial on the boat, and we take care of all of the rest for them. And then we do all of the, we'll call the family when the death certificates come in too. A lot of people want to know about that, and you don't need those in place for all of this to happen. We get all of the permitting in place that needs to be done, because again, that comes from the county, and that usually takes 2 or 3 weeks for that paperwork to come in from the county. But once it is, we handle all of that for the family, call them, and they come and pick it up from us.
Okay, all right, good. And then, like you said, there's permits and things that you take care of. So when it comes to pricing, do the people need to be concerned about the pricing of permits, or how does that work?
That is all included in what we do, and we don't upcharge. We simply pass that through. One of the things that O'Connor and Pacific, the O'Connor family has always been very it's been very important for them to be transparent in their pricing. So you can go onto the Pacific Cremation Services website today, and you will see all of the prices right there in front of you.
That's great. Well, that's good, because then they can go in, they don't have to make a whole lot of phone calls, it's right there, they can make their decisions. And then, like you said, it does take a few weeks for the permit, so it's best to probably plan, what, like a month out?
Well, people can plan ahead for their own. A lot of times people plan ahead for their own memorial at sea. But if the death has occurred, you can call right away. And as I said, it'll just take a few days to plan the actual ceremony at sea, just longer for those death certificates to come in.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, people call and we can get something scheduled within a few days.
Oh, I see. So there is no, you don't have to wait for the permits.
You don't have to wait.
Okay,
No.
gotcha. Oh, well, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, it seems very simple and certainly alternative, which is a nice alternative. Like you said, our weather always seems to be pretty good.
It
However, you go
does.
no matter what, right? I mean, of course, if you
Yes.
can't, then you don't.
Yes.
But if it was cloudy, you
If
could
it was
still go.
cloudy, you still go, and I've heard wonderful stories about it's cloudy and then that the sun peeks through right at that special moment. So
Oh,
that
wow.
can happen. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. Now, how far out do you go?
Typically they go out a few miles.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And how long does the whole trip usually take?
It's about an hour to 2 hours, depending on what the family wants to do. If they want food, sometimes that's a little bit longer. If they're doing more of a meal on the boat, a lot of times people go out, it's about an hour, and then they'll do the meal off-site. So.
Okay. Give me an idea of one that's kind of stands out in your mind that was really nice.
Oh gosh, we did one for a family. We were on a sailboat and they went out to a particular mile marker, and the family was able to do the scattering, and then we also did little memory rocks for them. So they were able to write, we had paints and markers, and so they were able to write messages on the rocks, and then they threw the rocks into the ocean as
that sounds
well.
great.
And then they scattered rose petals, and we had music playing. The captain had some beautiful words to say, and it was just really, really special for that family. Dad was also a fisherman, was very connected to the ocean, to the water, and that was one of those cases where it was a little bit cloudy, and they sent us pictures. The clouds broke through, and the sun was streaming down right at that moment. So it was special.
Kind of makes you have chills. Just
It
hearing about
does.
that.
It does. Very special for the family.
That's nice. I think that's really great, and it's a good alternative, like you mentioned. So.
And our team is ready and willing for phone calls. People have a lot of questions about this. How far do we have to go? What are the rules? What are the regulations? And we're always able to answer all of those questions. Just pick up the phone.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a slide that has that information.
PacificCremationServices.com.
Okay. And then the phone number is right on our screen, which is
Yes.
382-7782.
That's right.
All right, fantastic. Thank you for the information.
Absolutely.
All right, we'll see you again. We'll be right back.